Hi, welcome to Conversations That Matter, Talking with God. You know, last week we did Know Your God. And this week it just came to me that, you need to do Know Yourself. And we can only know ourselves when we know our God. Psalms 51, verse 1. David wrote, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." You know, David came to terms with who he was as a man. Even though the Bible says he was a man after God's own heart, he wrote the psalm, "As the deer panteth after the water brook, so my soul longeth after you." David was in love with God. David was pursuing God, but David was still a man. David did some atrocities that, when you sit down, you might say to yourself, but I'm not as bad as David. David, conspired to kill a man because he took the man's wife and, all sort of stuff. But in context, in relation to our lives today, sin is sin. So it's like we are endeavoring to come to a place where we realize that it doesn't matter how far you think you are, how deep down in the gutters we think we might be, and God don't have no use for us. I've heard people say, "Oh, I can't go into church because if I go into church, the church is going to fall down on me. That's how bad I am." Well, as bad as you think you are or want to be, God is better. God can take you up out of any situation. So today, our conversation is about self-reflection, looking within and finding out for yourself. Don't let nobody come to you or to tell you, well, this is what I see, or, you should be doing this. No. You need to know if you're contending for the faith. You need to know if you're in the faith. Only you know. We can speculate, we can make assumptions, but when we look at ourselves in the mirror, do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Can you really and truly be honest with yourself and say, just like David did, "Create in me a clean heart, O God"? Because at the end of the day, the Bible talks about our heart. It is where the issues of life flow out. This is where the fruit of everything that we speak through our mouths, everything, how we act and treat each other, it resides and comes from the heart. So let's give God our heart so that he can mold it, shape it, fill it, renew it, repurpose it, bring us to a place where we can say, "God, I know who I am because I know who you are and you've called me your child." Just like you said, David is the apple of your eye. I know I'm the apple of your eye, and there is nothing God won't do to reach you so that you can stand and say, "I know my God, therefore I know myself." This is Conversations That Matter, Talking with God. May God bless you today.